Sorry.
Maybe I'm wrong, Paul, but you do have software on the back end to record the stream, correct? With a producer?
Oh, my Lord. Yes. We now, Blade, you've been recording the audio, correct? You've got that all set. It's the video that we had off. So we're okay. We are recording the video now. I apologize.
Oh, okay. I hope you remind that it came in, though.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And I want you to. And we're talking about the whole concept of this taking great risk. When I got into real estate, I had taken some classes, taken some courses, and got educated. Great. However, I hit the streets and I actually went for it. I took massive risk, just did everything I could to make the phone calls and call everybody in creation and bring it all into existence. And make it happen. Well, in doing so, I created my first deal. And then I created another deal, and then created another deal, and then created another deal. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars in real estate in a very short period of time. Had my first deal under contract within 30 days of getting educated in real estate. About a year and a half in, I started considering this idea of coaching, which I hadn't had an idea about before, and started coaching people. Maybe it was 2 years in. And people started hiring me as a coach. And as we got into it, I'd find out they knew more about real estate than I did. Like, we'd go through the contracts, and they knew every frigging clause there was in the contract. They knew what they were supposed to have in there, every word, what it meant. Man, I said, that's what the lawyers are for. I had no idea. And I asked them, like, why did you hire me? You already know this stuff. You know how to do real estate. And they said, because you've done it. You actually went through and created this. And I'm still trying to figure out how to put together my first deal. And I said, but you have all the information. What's stopping you? Risk management, fear, that chit chat in their head. Oh, what if it doesn't work out? What if I lose everything? These were all the things that they said. I said, yeah, but realize you've been studying this for years now. What if you had actually taken action 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? Imagine where you'd be now. And that's what I looked at when I got started, is I imagined what my life could be. And now it's 10 years later, 13 years later, and I've created this abundance and went, how fortunate am I, and realized this topic of risk, this topic of taking action, of not worrying about what other people are concerned about, not worried about what they're going to say, not worried about what is going to happen to, my house and my finances, and simply going for it was the key answer.
You know, that makes so much sense now, because I mean, I kind of was hoping for a more simpler answer. You know, how important is this risk factor, this I'm all in factor compared to knowledge? And you just told me, oh yeah, the people that hire you for coaching to get their first deal done have all the understanding in the world. They have studied it. They have the information. They know it inside and out, but they don't have working knowledge.
Yes.
They haven't applied. It's all theory in their mind. It's not real. It's only a picture show. And they didn't put their hand, they didn't touch it. They didn't touch that button now, did they? Oh yeah, they touched the button.
Right.
You touched the button. You didn't have the experience. You didn't have the education. It's really not that important. Yes, you need to know what's going on. I'm not going to tell anybody, yeah, you can make $1 million or $1,000 a month on an automated website, and you don't need to know how to make a website. But you don't need all this extensive, huge. Everyone thinks you got to be a doctor in real estate development, or you got to be a doctor in internet technology to make something happen. And you just put the nail on the head, man. These people have way more knowledge, way more study, way more education, but they're hiring you because you picked it up, put it all in a bag, said, hell or high water, I'm getting there. You cut the rope and jumped across the cavern. You burned the boats and stormed the beach.
Every single day. Walt, what do you think?
Oh, so my question is, isn't the risk in not taking the risk?
It's huge.
That's
No,
where the risk
it's not even a risk not taking the risk. That is like, oh, you don't want to make it? Don't take the risk. Bottom line, you want to get across the cavern, cut the rope. You're not, even if you get there, that rope's going to hold you back. It's going to pull you right off the cliff because you're holding on to that risk.
So my whole life is a risk. I mean, being an artist, you know, maybe I'll never make it, but I'm enjoying myself. I never want to retire. I'm doing every moment of my life exactly what I want to do. You know, maybe I'll be famous, maybe not.
One of the saddest things to me, and I coach all around the country now, and when I meet people and I realize that their fear is keeping them from living the life that they should be, the life that they could be living. And it's one of the saddest things to me to realize that unless they do something dramatically different than what they've been doing, they are destined to be on the backside of their life at the end of their day saying woulda, coulda, shoulda. And it hurts me so deeply to know that it just, and I know being on this side, I kind of talk about like being on this side of the looking glass. I'm on the other side of that journey saying, just reach out, grab my hand, I'm here. And they're so afraid that to lose, and here's the interesting thing, they're afraid to lose what they have, even though what they have they don't like. But at least they know they have it. And so here I have something, it sucks. However, if I go where you're going, I won't have this, and then I won't have anything, even the sucky stuff. And you go, no, get rid of the sucky stuff, and you'll have so much more.
But this relates to other shit too, man. You know, this is kind of personal, but what the hell? This is my real life story. I was going through the exact situation, but not necessarily with money, because you know that's really not what I was focused on at that time. But my relationship. You know, okay, this is big stuff, but this is the same risk it all stuff. Okay, I wanted it all. I wanted the whole full, you know, communication, shared house, whatnot. The woman that I was with was like, I don't know. So I had to risk it all. I had to say, you know what? Either you're in or you're out. Because I'm not going to play this half in love thing. I'm just not. Well, okay, so I'm single now. Whatever. But I met this girl. I liked her. She was cute. I was like, oh, do I want to take her on a date? What do? Do I sit and not risk my emotions, my emotional fear, my pain? Oh, does she like me? Would she like me? Or do I take the risk? Do I say, hey, I like you. Would you like to go out on a date? Now, I'm not saying that every girl, you know, I meet and I ask on a date is like, yeah, cool. Or every girl I go on a date with is the right person that I want to hook up with and have a relationship with. But it's not going to happen unless I risk my emotion. You know, like you're saying in the real estate game. It's not going to happen unless you risk your everything. You risk, you know, your time. Oh, gosh, I'm going to risk my free time for more free time, right? Because if you're working a job to survive, you know, maybe you're not like some people I know that just drop in the first 30 days. You know, same thing with my internet things, you know. I have to risk it all every single day because if I'm not on the cutting edge. And the next guy is going to be, you know, risking it all and taking advantage of the opportunities that I'm missing because I'm holding myself back.
Can I ask you a question? Is it possible
to? That was
all right. I'll ask a couple then. I want to go for it. So, is there a better way of using the word risk to use a different word for risk? I mean,
like
what you did over here is Well, you used the concept that I thought of for a long time when I was a lot younger, is to learn by doing, as opposed to learn in the book. You're not learning anything, you're just learning basic ideas. But the learning by doing is you take the ideas that you have and put it to action.
There's definitely the application of knowledge is power. It's not simply knowledge itself. Absolutely. And that's what creates change. That's what creates your creativity. That's what creates everything, is actually taking action. However, which means what as far as using the term risk? Hey, Barbara, welcome.
Well, I don't know. There's sometimes different words get in the way in people's minds of what they want to do or what they're going to do, simply because of what that word means to them. Even what does money mean to you? The word money, not the dollars and cents, but what does the word money mean? I mean, for a lot of people,
right,
it's very overwhelming for some reason. Whatever reason is that, it must be an infinite number of different concepts that word, which is just an idea, means to people. And to me, money now is, I don't know, it's not dollars and cents necessarily. It's my art. My art is over 500,000 images I have created since 2006 only. I've been doing this since 1958. And that small body of work, 500,000, that small body of work, I calculate is worth $255 trillion potential of turning into dollars and cents. Okay, I can trade it, I can give it away, I can donate it. But beyond that, before anyone even pays me or I give it away as an actual physical print, my concept was that I can give it away to everyone to look at. And the ability to look at a piece of art is all that anyone needs to be affected by it and create ideas or whatever. So that's what I did. Is I had 351,295 images online, and they took it down from the site. Go ahead.
What was the risk?
Wait a minute. In 2012, after my father died, right a couple of months after, I had 175,000 images up at that time. The site lost 100,000. The server went down or whatever it is. Right. I took my time, 2.5 years. I put those 100,000 back up. And then when I got to 351,000 this year, February, they decided they could take it all down. I wrote to the guy, I said, maybe you don't want to take all of them down. They left 4,000 images up. So they took 346,000 images down. That was the risk, even after I put the 100,000. So now I'm not sure exactly where to go, but I'm trying to say.
Well, I might say a couple things.
Yeah,
is that once you've been through a process where you've lost, learn from your mistakes, and so don't put yourself in that position again. There are a lot of ways that it sounds like you weren't in control of the websites on where you were putting them.
Right. Yeah.
So
but it's
absolutely.
okay.
Grab control of that.
Well, there was another positive, though. There's a positive side, because that site was helping me to focus on only creating art.
Right.
And that was very powerful, because I created and I could upload them 5 at a time, just keep on doing it. Now I'm creating it at the same speed. I'm just giving one or two up on the site to look at. And now I'm turning it into a physical reality as far as actually putting in galleries all over the world and in people's hands.
Right.
So it was good to focus on that. That could have gone on for the rest of my life if they didn't decide that it was costing them too much space. I took up too much of their space. But now I'm taking it and making it a different reality, because people were buying it from that site. And now it's different focus.
One of the things that I would suggest is there may be different paradigms as to how you run your business. Yes. That may help with some of where you're going with that to get to the same place. And oftentimes in my coaching, I'll start with Let's decide what the end game is. Let's decide where we're going, and then build the roadmap to get there. And we may want to go back to those basics so that you're not going through that same thing over and over again, because that's painful. And we talk about risk, and that's definitely a risk mitigation, if you will, that we can go through. Congratulations on taking the risk in the first place. And that's really key. And continue to go back to the drawing board and saying, hey, how can I create something different? How can I create something more? How can I accomplish what I want to accomplish? Those key questions make the difference in where we end up. Like I said, and I was dead.
Okay, so here's where the thing changed. I'm going to give you a different perspective. In 1976, it's a little while ago. 1976.
That's a long time ago.
Okay, for me, it's a little bit of time ago. Okay, because I started in '58, so that was like 20.
It doesn't matter.
20
years
is
still a long time ago.
Okay. Okay. Hold on, please. Hold on.
Call from.
All right.
You got a good producer, right? He'll edit this out for your show. Or are you guys streaming?
Yep. I just muted it out. It's okay. So here's the thing. With everything that we've been talking about, one of the things that I've learned in my career is absolutely take risk. Take massive risk. And when I say take massive risk, you've got to identify for yourself what risk is. For me, there really isn't anything to risk. In this day and age, we're not risking life and limb. I'm not going and battling wars. I am simply talking about, let me risk some money. Let me risk time. Let me risk energy. Let me risk my focus. And when you're talking about those parameters, risk it all. And I don't talk just from I talk from real experience. I coach from real experience. And I got into this game in coaching and building my business and really getting real with who I am. Got into the game of the real estate. And I did all this because, I was in a passionate relationship with my wife, and we had a few children, let's just say. I have 6 children, 3 sets of twins. And in building up, so now I have 6 kids. I had 6 kids under 6 when I realized I had to create something new in my life. I had to create something different. And I realized, what do I have to lose? Now, I had other people tell me, how dare you? How dare you risk all this? How dare you go out and build new businesses? Go get a job, go get stability, whatever they think that is, and create this stable environment because you've got 6 kids. I said, how dare you? How dare I take that easy road? Because I'll tell you that if I had listened to them, we'd be struggling. We would be in poverty. We would barely have anything at this stage. Do you know what it costs to have 6 kids? And I say that for the understanding that was my catalyst. That drove me to say, I'm going to risk. I spent money on education. I spent money on business ventures. I created time and energy and really focused in on creating more in my life. And you're back on, Walter. Creating more in my life just to have the abundance with the vision that I saw of this is what could be. And I'm going to dare to risk it all. And I risked, I leveraged my house. I got rid of my pension fund, got rid of my 401k, did everything to just put all, and what I call putting all the chips on the table and saying, let it ride, and going, this is how huge risk and what they call risk equals huge reward. and I knew I was swinging for the stars. I was swinging to win big time, or what? Or keep going to win big time. One of the things, most interesting things for people that are really going for it is that they believe when you first start that you're climbing for a milestone. You're climbing for, oh man, if only I could get to that ledge, to that summit. And they reach that summit, the ultimate, the top of the mountain, thinking they've made it. And you look down, kind of pat yourself on the back going, yeah, baby, I made it. And then you look up and you realize you're still at the bottom of the mountain. You just made it to the first baby ledge. And it's how I've experienced life, that what I used to think was the ultimate is now what becomes the new baseline. And I climb from there. And then the next baseline, the next plateau becomes the new baseline, still reaching for another level. And there's so much more to experience, to accomplish, to achieve, to share in this world. And 90%, 95% of the population don't even realize that it's available to them and that's out there. And that's the real risk, is that they don't put themselves fully out there. They're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of looking foolish. They're afraid of losing the few pennies that they have to create the dollars that they could. They're afraid of living life fully. And that is the shame of it all. That's the embarrassment of it all. And that's what I shifted about 13 years ago, and more dramatically 10 years ago, to create the abundance that I have now, where I've got a passionate, abundant relationship with my wife and my kids. They're all amazing. We're able to do and accomplish. I travel all around the country and around the world almost at whim. And we're able to do all this simply because I dared to take the chance.
Oh, that's with anything, though. I mean, really, when you're talking risk, you're talking mitigation, and calculating your cost and your risks and your loss. You're calculating your fear is what's happening.
Yes.
And I'm not saying don't do risk mitigation, because I'm sure when you took that plunge, you did the research on your first deal to mitigate the risk, as far as making sure that it's a sound investment, making sure that your choices were going to, be benefited. And this is kind of, I look at it as like, if I don't risk it, I'm going to be stuck in this mediocrity. I look at it as, there's people coming into these classes that are paying for the classes, getting the education on real estate or whatever industry. And because even though they bought in with the money, they didn't buy in with their heart and soul. They didn't say, you know what, I'm going to make this happen. Because it wasn't a do or die situation. There was always that rope. There was always those boats they could sail back.
Yep. No, great. I've got to interrupt. We're coming to the close of the official hour of the radio show. This is the Maverick Difference radio show. We are live, and we blab it as well. We are live every single week, 11 a.m. Eastern time, right here. And advertisements, look for me, Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. And you'll see me on Facebook, on Twitter, and every place else. We are absolutely Star Worldwide Network as well, so go check us out. For all of you that really love this discussion and want to hang out with me even further, we are every Tuesday, 11 a.m. here. I also have 3-day live boot camps, and I want you to check it out. It is the MaverickSellingToday.com. Go check it out. The next one is going to be in Vegas. It's going to be in Vegas in July. We've got a few weeks before that happens, so absolutely check it out. See if it's the right thing for you. Other than that, guys, we're going to hold on with our discussion here on Blab for the radio show. This is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Paul Finck and the Maverick Difference Radio Show. You can listen to Paul live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern and anytime 24/7 on RadiostarWorldwide.com.
Awesome. Great stuff, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being part of it. And you guys want to join in next week, I may actually continue this discussion because we only just scratched the surface for our discussions for next week. And I'll make a decision. I'll check it out and make a decision on that. However, would love to have you guys part of it. And come join me. Good stuff. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh yeah, you got my attention. Me and you seem to resonate on some of these same frequencies as far as mindset. And just taking that emergency step, that last step.